How's it going?
I'm so good. How are you?
I'm good. It's a
This is a
marathon
different setup
today.
that I normally see you in. This is a different.
Yes, I moved. I moved from, was I in my living room before or was it the flowery wallpaper?
I think the flowery wallpaper is what I
Uh,
actually. There might
that's
have
in
been
that
both.
room. Yeah, I think there might have been both. I'm trying to shake it up, but I'm running out of places.
Well, honestly, at this point, it's like trying to do a new room that you drink and watch movies in every weekend because you're so bored. So you're like, okay, maybe I'll do a Zoom in the bathroom next week. I don't know. I'm just trying to make life not seem so
Well,
Groundhog Day.
that's true. I set up in my living room again and I was like, I don't remember how I did this. It doesn't look as good. But maybe it was just like it's really cold, but it's kind of sunny today and there's a window there that lights me kind of weird. So I was like, it's fine. We're moving. This is fine.
This is not happening this way. We got to move.
Yeah, yeah.
We're gonna have to. You'll have to like bring an iPad when we can finally see each other again because nobody's gonna know how to talk to each other in person. So you'll need to just be in a different room when you're actually at
FaceTiming.
Country 105.
Hello, I'm here to FaceTime Greg.
Yeah, just go in that room. That's our FaceTime room around the
Oh
corner,
my
and he'll be in a different
gosh.
room.
And you'll have to like have a green screen in the back so it can still look like your house. Like my flowery wallpaper can
Yeah,
be on the green screen.
we'll
Yeah.
just make yours. I was actually hoping you would pop in as a cat, like that lawyer did this week. Did you see
What?
that thing?
I did not see that.
Are you serious? Or do you go on? Do you go on social media, or are you just like in
Yes.
total album mode right now that you're blocking everything else out?
I mean the album's done. So like I'm on social media, but like a lot of times it's mine to schedule everything. No, what? How did I
Okay.
miss that?
Best thing you'll see this week, I can promise you that. It's literally everywhere. So
Okay.
there's like two lawyers and a judge. This sounds like a bad joke that I'm setting up.
Yeah, I'm being set up right now.
And so judge is there, other lawyers there. Second lawyer pops on, and his face is a cat avatar, and you like his mouth moves with the cat, and he's like, I don't know what filter's on. I don't know how to turn it off.
Oh, he didn't know.
No, he's like, I promise I'm not a cat. I'm live. I just don't know how to get the filter.
I promise I'm not a cat.
So
Wow.
next Zoom, I'm going to send you, because I figured out how you can actually get the cat face. So I'm going to send that to you. So next interview, whoever it's with, I want you to show up with the cat face.
Okay, deal. I have to look at my schedule and see. Oh my gosh, that's hilarious. I'm gonna do that for Pat Dubois. I think he would appreciate that more than the average person.
He would absolutely love that. Because he's been posting a lot about the cat video. So he'd appreciate that so much. Yep.
How am I missing this? I need to get out more, but I can't.
We can't.
Whatever.
Are you doing like, do you guys do like a family Zoom call a week? Are you doing a friend Zoom call a week? How are you keeping in touch with people?
Well, we were doing all of that, but Saskatchewan, like, not that we're gathering in our homes or anything like that, but Saskatchewan is a little bit more open. So like we can get together in small groups and go to restaurants. Yeah, so it's a little bit, it's still really hard, but like I was just at a wedding on Saturday. There could only be 30 people and there could only be 4 people to a table. But I mean, I can see not everybody, but I can see 30 people. So I think that's the number. I'm actually not certain if that's how many people, but anyway, you can see a small amount of people. So no, the most recent Zoom that I did, aside from meetings and interviews, was we did a Christmas party, a band Christmas Zoom, and it lasted like 4 or 5 hours, and we were all sober by the end of it. But
so
it was really
somebody
fun.
actually bought the Zoom package where you didn't time out after 40 minutes.
I did, yeah.
Oh, there you go. That's awesome.
Yeah, it works better for songwriting and stuff. But usually songwriting lasts longer than an hour, so I had to do that, and our meetings often last longer than that too. So
when you go to weddings, because you said you were just at a wedding, when you go to weddings, do you ever get approached by the people that invite you and like, can you just do one song, or are they totally respectful? Like, Jess is just our friend. We just want her to have fun.
They're totally respectful. I will for sure get approached. It's a fact, not an if, by people at the wedding. People just like, I think because the people that get invited are not as familiar with,
of course, yeah,
this situation, I guess. But yeah, anytime I ever get invited, and if they do want me to sing, they'll just ask. They'll be like, hey, you're invited to the wedding, but like, would you like to sing? And then we can figure out that. But yeah, no, the the people that are inviting me are always super respectful.
You're like, it just so happens I brought my mic and I brought an amp. And look
Look
I
at
was
this.
totally
Meet
what are the
Ian.
chances?
Yeah, exactly. He's gonna mix this wedding for you.
I think I know the answer to this, but I can't remember in my brain right now. How long have you and Clay been married?
It'll be 3 years in August that we've been married.
And your first dance song was
Autograph by that guy.
That's right.
Yeah.
I knew I was like, was it Paul Brandt or Dallas Smith? I knew it was one of those two.
Well, you're right. Our first dance was Autograph by Dallas, and then Clay picked the song was it the signing of our registry, and it was all about her. He picked it, swear to God.
Aww.
And then Paul actually surprised. He knew he was invited, obviously, and couldn't make it. And he surprised us and knew that Clay had picked that song. So he like did a little shout out that the DJ ended up playing before. So Paul like got to introduce the song and like say his 2 cents, about Clay and I.
There's nothing like
day.
A cool wedding surprise like that. Coolest thing I ever did for a buddy. He's a massive Boy Meets World fan. Did you watch that show growing up?
I did.
Okay, so I'm his MC and I'm in his wedding party. I'm one of his groomsmen. He is the biggest Boy Meets World fan you'll ever see. And I was able, because of what I do, to reach out to Mr. Feeney. And I got Mr. Feeney. And so I got Mr. Feeney to give him a little sort of like lesson in love. Like, here's how you stay married, like my wife and I have for over 50 years.
Yeah.
Here's what you, and so he's like, Tyler and Tori, this is Mr. Feeney. And he gave like a little love advice. And I watched his face being, he was just blown away.
I think Mr. Feeney's on Cameo.
Yeah, now. I think he is too.
That's so cool. I love that. That's the beauty of Cameo. You could literally, like, if you really wanted to, and I've done this for a few cameos as well, is like, you can actually put together a pretty baller, like, wedding video or birthday video with some awesome celebrities. And then also, like,
I did that for my co-host. She's a massive Jan Arden fan. And so for Christmas, it was a birthday, I did a Jan Arden cameo, and it was like 4 minutes, and she sang and she knocked it out of the park. And her reaction, you got to go to Country 105's Instagram later, watch her reaction. She was crying, like hysterical crying when she saw Jan doing this. It was awesome.
That's so sweet. It's a great platform because I'm not trying to advertise her cameo right now, but it's a great platform because all the information is right there. So like, it's kind of tough because like I get video requests like through my mom and through my in-laws and through Clay and through Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, email, phone, text, like everywhere, just on the street. People will be like, could you just do a quick little, and it's hard to kind of like keep those all straight in your brain to be like, okay, this one is for, Claire and it's her 16th birthday, but then later I have to do that one for Tyler, who's getting married to Dana. Like, it's kind of hard to keep those things all straight. So Cameo is awesome because it literally, like, you type in whatever you want about your friend, like, hey, my friend's name is Greg and blah, blah, blah. And you can say anything you want and it's just right there. And it's so awesome. You can like, I feel better about doing it because you can make it so much more personal for the person getting it.
Yeah, you're not like, I think your name is Claire and you're turning something teen, happy something.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Sometimes they turn out like that and I'm like, oh God, I did not do that very well.
We talked a little bit about Clay. Is he super romantic? Are you guys going to be very lovey and romantic this weekend? Or is it kind of just like, here's a card, I love you?
Yeah, I don't know. We do different, like Valentine's Day is different every year for some reason. He's working this weekend, so there won't be a lot, but he is off on Friday. So I think we're going to try and go to dinner because we are lucky enough that we can do that here legally.
Jealous.
Yeah, so I think we'll probably just do that. I can't see it being, he's not super romantic, but there are times where he's very thoughtful. So we'll see. I have no idea if he has anything up his sleeve. Probably not. But it's okay.
When he heard, because he's heard the full new album, I'm sure demos, right?
Yeah.
Does he have a favorite song, or will he tell you, or was I love it all, babe, or is it I love this one the most?
I would assume that Mapdot would be his favorite from the demos. He actually hasn't told me what his favorite is. He usually does. I know that on the last, I'm going to, because on the last record, I was really surprised that his his favorite song was Save Some of That Whiskey. And I was like, you know who that's about, right? He's like, yeah. I was like, okay, good, great. Just checking. It ain't you. Which is good.
He's like, that's why I like
song.
it.
Yeah, exactly.
So when you bring a project like this home, do you guys are you do you go for a drive and listen to the full thing if you want to show it to him? Do you just give it to him and let him do it on his own time? How do you do that?
Well, it's sort of I usually just give it to him. Lots of times I text him as they come in because I don't always get the album done. It's not like the album is like completed and being like, here you go. I get some songs and then I'll be like, okay, I need this changed. And then I'll get another song. And some days I'll get 3 songs. So usually as they're coming in, once I'm like happy enough with them, I'll send them to him, because what has happened in the past is when I write a song, if I'm really excited, I'll send it to him. But there's this thing called demoitis where you can love a song so much, you can love the demo of it, that when you get the actual fully produced version, you don't like the song necessarily as much.
Interesting.
Yeah, and that's happened to him a few times. So I've stopped sending him songs right after I've written them, and I wait until they're produced, because sometimes he'll be like, oh, I wish that it was more this way, or like, oh, and I'm just like, I just really don't need that input right now.
Like
it's
sometimes, you know what I'm asking for? Honesty. It's not actual honesty. I'm actually asking for honestly, tell me what I want to hear right now, and you're not understanding that I need that.
Yeah. Well, there was the one time that it happened was with Mapdot, actually.
Yeah.
And I think that he and I both were really tough on the production of the song, because it meant so much to both of us, the song. And so we got it back, and I was like, okay, this is very different from the demo, but obviously I have demoitis, so I just need to like listen to it a few more times. And then Clay heard it and he was like, I missed this, 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 and this. And I was like, oh, and I was so mad at him for like 2 days. And then I called my producer, and then my producer was like, well, maybe he's right. Let's go back to the drawing board. And we changed it.
Way.
And that's what you hear on the radio now. And it's better. It's way better. He was right. But
is that where the idea behind demos came from? You having these different conversations and being like, okay, well, there's this, and people don't know. I mean, I've been in this industry. I don't know that a lot of times there's a demo that's way different than what we actually end up hearing for a finished product.
Exactly. And that was part of the fun of this album, is that it kind of is a concept. So I wasn't really intending to release an album this year, but with everything with the pandemic going on, I didn't know when I'd be able to get back into the studio to record singles. So I wanted to release something. So I was like, you know what? I think an album is going to be the smart move. And I was lucky enough that I've got tons of songs in my catalog that I wish I did release. So I love these songs just as much, if not more, than some of the other songs that I've released or written. So they just never had the right home before. So I went into that catalog, grabbed some songs that were demoed, and I was like, okay, these aren't quite ready. So let's pretty them up. Let's polish them up, add some guitar solos, whatever we need to do to get them there, and then release it. So what I did was obviously put the polished versions on the album, but I also took the before and unpolished versions of the songs and included them. So the songs on the album that are labeled, for example, Mapdot, the demo. They're labeled the demo because they are exactly what we walked out of the writing room with that day. So you hear what I wrote the day that I wrote it.
I think that is so cool. That's so fun for me. And because then you get to hear the different versions and what goes into actually making an album versus what was originally done. Is there a song, and maybe you won't admit this, that when you got the finished product back, you got super excited? What was those, like, I know it was all of them, but what was the one that you heard the finished product and you were like, whoa?
Yeah. Well, this project is a little different, because that is usually what happens with previous. Like, I'll never forget the very first time that I heard Cheap Wine. It was a wow moment for me. And I started like crying because it was so different. But with this project, it was a little bit not that way, because these demos were sort of just added to. So a lot of them aren't crazy different. I think the one that ends up being the most different is either Mapdot or Halfway Home. But there's one song on there that the demo is not a duet, and then the finished product ends up being a duet. So obviously that one's really different, but the production and sonically it sounds similar.
Is that with the Australian guy?
Yeah, Travis Collins. He's incredible. You're gonna love him.
How does that? You're just scouring Australian or what? You're doing the Australian charts one day on a streaming service. You're like, hey, this guy's good. How does that happen?
Well, it was actually when I was there. So back in 2019, I had my very first Australian shows, and I needed to find an Australian band so that I didn't have to travel. I mean, I would have loved to travel with my own, but it's a lot of work to get visas and expensive. So
Yeah.
I thought, you know what, let's dive in with both feet here, and we'll do the full Australian thing with an Australian band. So I got connected through a mutual friend of Travis and mine, whose name is Phil Barton, who we both write with. He's Australian as well. And he connected Travis and I saying, hey, I think that you guys have similar styles enough so that your bands would work together. So Travis was kind enough to let me use his band for my shows. And Travis was also on the same shows. So I heard his voice and was completely blown away. It's like smoky and husky and raspy, but so powerful. And
Smoky
I
and
was
husky,
like,
that was me in high school.
That was way too quick, but still powerful, right? That's awesome.
So have you played with Travis? You played with Travis on stage, right?
Not on stage together. We played the same show. We
Okay.
were both on the same. It was a festival show, a couple.
But he's never
shows.
made you do a shoey?
No, I purposely wore sandals the whole time because I was so scared to do a shoey.
You don't know what a shoey is. You pour a beer into your boot, whatever shoe you're wearing, and you have to chug it out of that. The first and only time I ever did that, my first long-term girlfriend, it was her parents' anniversary party, and her big brothers made me chug out of my shoe while they chugged out of their shoes. And I was like, this is not the family that I need to end up with.
That was a thing for a while around here, and I wish I remembered what it was called, because they called it something else here, but I definitely know it as a
chug
shoey.
or something.
Maybe it was something like that doesn't really sound like what it is. I don't know. It doesn't matter.
So
but I've never done one.
No, and nor should you. Actually, I'd say next time we're at the Stampede together, when that happens, we'll do one out of boots.
Oh, but like glass ones, right? Like the glass. No, I knew it.
So along with the album release, you're doing like a full sort of live sort of concert, right? Sort of a streaming concert.
Yeah, I'm super excited. We have not officially like announced or talked much about that, but we are working on a really fun album release party that we shot last week. So yeah, I'm really, really excited. It's the closest thing that we're going to get to an in-person performance or question and answer period or anything like that. So I didn't want to just totally not do anything for an album release. So we're going to do something.
Well, we did do something a few months ago with some of our listeners on Zoom. So if you ever want to do that again, you let me know, because I had a blast hosting that.
That was
you
so
just let
fun.
Me know.
I will, definitely.
I know you got like probably 1,000. You already told me Pat's waiting. So sorry, Pat. I need to get you out of here on just a few questions. We do what we call a one-call debate on our show every day, okay? So we argue and somebody calls in and picks a side.
Okay.
But when we get a Jess Moskaluke that we get to talk to, you get to come in and throw that decision out. And
I thought you were going to make me argue with you.
Oh, no.
It's like, that's going to be hard. We agree on most things.
We do. Okay, this one is, would you rather get broken up with in public or in private?
Private. In private. I guess it would probably, yeah, I just feel like that has a little bit more respect to it.
See,
that
here's
someone
my
would
thing.
Not embarrass you. Oh, are we going to disagree? This is exciting.
Well, because you are going to make me lose, because I don't want to have to like get dumped and then sadly walk out of your house and grab my shoes. I want to just be able to walk out of the restaurant or walk away in the park. And then there's the awkward, like, okay, you dumped me. Should I stay for dinner? Or can I have some soup?
Yeah.
It's just this weird, I don't know.
Maybe you break up soup.
Chicken noodle. It makes you feel better.
I guess that's true. I guess when I'm thinking of in public, in my mind, I'm thinking of like in a crowd, like around other friends, which would suck, I think.
Oh no, that would be
so
terrible.
I guess if you like took them to a restaurant, that'd be okay. But you still have that awkward, like, okay, well, I'm gonna leave now, regardless of where you are. So I think that in private would probably still be better. Breakups are awkward. There's no way around it.
Thanks for making me lose. I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
2 more for you. We're talking, because it's so cold, about things you've scraped off your car with. And I always do, back in the day, was the debit or credit card.
And it takes a long time.
How many debit cards are you on? When you look at the little number in the corner, do you know? Are you on a bunch or a little?
I don't know. Like, I don't like how many. I don't know. I have no idea. I don't think that I have that number in the corner of my debit card.
Do you lose yours quite often, or
No.
you don't lose those at all?
I don't think I've ever lost one. And I say that too because I have a friend who consistent, like she must be on like debit card number 25.
Yes. Yeah. That's my wife. She's in the 60s.
What?
Yes.
I literally don't think I've ever lost one. I mean, like if I have a new debit card, it's because one expired and you need a new one, or like, you know, they have a chip now and they didn't before.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so you're low like me then. You're responsible.
Yeah. Yeah. I try to be.
And finally, we have a ultimate country love song battle going on. First, I need to know what you think the ultimate country love song is.
Well, I guess it depends. Like right off the top of my head, I mean, like I Will Always Love You by Dolly Parton or
Dolly, yeah.
Willie Nelson or whoever. I guess they both did it, I think. That's ultimate. But like to me, it's the songs that we were talking about earlier that were at our wedding. It's you know, Autograph or All About Her or Diamonds Are Twine. Like there's so many. Country is so good at telling a story in such a unique, thoughtful way. So I don't know if there's one ultimate.
So we've had a bracket, and the final two, based off listener votes all week on Instagram, are Lone Star Amazed.
Oh yeah.
Or Garth Brooks The Dance.
Oh. Well, I think Amazed for me, which is funny because I'm a massive Garth Brooks fan, but I think that in terms of what a love, like the true sense of a not that much hardship love song, I would think it's Amazed. The Dance is kind of like, oh, there's a lot of things that sucked, but I'm so glad because it led me to you. But Amazed.
We're back to agreeing. We're back to us. Look at us go agreeing again.
There we go. That was a tough minute we had there.
Oh God, can you imagine our poor relationship? We're never friends again. The shoey is out the window now.
Phew.
I always just appreciate talking to you. You're so much fun. Enjoy the rest of the day. Can't wait to hear the album, and I can't wait to see how I can watch this live concert on streaming.
I'll make sure you guys know about it because it's going to be a lot of fun. You're going to want to tune in. Nice to see you, buddy. Thanks again.
Bye, buddy. You too.